The Dodge Viper is a sports car, manufactured by the Dodge division of Chrysler. Production of the two-seat sports car began at new Mack Assembly in 1991 and moved to its current home at Connor Avenue Assembly in October 1995. Although Chrysler considered ending production because of financial problems, Chief Executive Sergio Marchionne announced and showed on September 14, 2010 a new model of the Viper for 2012. In 2014 the Viper was named the number 10 on the Most American Cars list, meaning 75% or more of its parts are manufactured in the U.S. The Viper was initially conceived in late 1988 at Chrysler's Advanced Design Studios. The following February, Chrysler President Bob Lutz suggested to Tom Gale at Chrysler Design that the company should consider producing a modern Cobra, and a clay model was presented to Lutz a few months later. Produced in sheet metal by metal crafters, the car appeared as a concept at the North American International Auto Show in 1989. Public reaction was so enthusiastic that Chief Engineer Roy Stjberg was directed to develop it as a standard production vehicle. Stjberg selected 85 engineers to be Team Viper, with development beginning in March 1989. The team asked the then Chrysler subsidiary Lamborghini to cast a prototype aluminum block based on Dodge's V10 truck engine for sports car use in May. The production body was completed in the fall, with a chassis prototype running in December. Though a V8 engine was first used in the test mule, the V10, which the production car was meant to use, was ready in February 1990. Official approval from Chrysler chairman Lee Iacocca came in May 1990. 1 year later, Carroll Shelby piloted a pre-production car as the pace vehicle in the Indianapolis 500 race. In November 1991, the car was released to reviewers with first retail shipments beginning in January 1992. First generation RT/10, the first prototype was tested in January 1989. It debuted in 1991 with two pre-production models as the pace car for the Indianapolis 500 when Dodge was forced to substitute it in place of the Japanese-built Stealth because of complaints from the United Auto Workers, and went on sale in January 1992 as the RT/10 Roadster. The centerpiece of the car was its engine. It was based on the Chrysler LA design, which was mostly used as a truck engine at the time. The original configuration made it too heavy for sports car use, so Lamborghini, then owned by Chrysler Corporation, revamped Dodge's cast-iron block V10 for the Viper by recasting the block and heads in aluminum alloy. Some within Chrysler felt the pushrod two-valve design, while adequate for the truck application, was unsuitable for a performance car and suggested a more comprehensive redesign which would have included 4 valves per cylinder. Chrysler, however, was uncertain about the Viper's production costs and sales potential and so declined to provide the budget for the modification. The engine weighed 711 lb and produced 400 bhp at 4600 rpm and 465 lb-aft at 3600 rpm, and thanks to the long gearing allowed by the engine, provided fuel economy at a United States Environmental Protection Agency rated 12 mpg U.S. city and 20 mpg U.S. highway. The body was a tubular steel frame with resin transfer molding fiberglass panels. Some small bits of the suspension, following the manufacturer's engine first mantra, were sourced from the Dodge Dakota pickup. It had a curb weight of 3,284 lb and lacked all modern driver aids such as traction control or anti-lock brakes. Car and Driver magazine referred to this generation as the world's biggest fat boy Harley, and likened driving it to playing ping-pong with a Louisville Slugger baseball bat. Despite this, in straight-line performance, it completed a quarter mile in 12.6 seconds and had a maximum speed of over 150 mph. Its large tires allowed the car to average close to 1 lateral G in corners, placing it among the elite cars of its day. However, the car proved tricky to drive at high speeds, particularly for the unskilled. The car was Spartan, although it featured inflatable lumbar support and adjustable seats. Along with the absence of exterior door handles, the vehicle lacked side windows and a roof. Although a soft top cover was available, it was designed primarily for indoor vehicle storage. Side curtains of fabric and clear plastic operated by zippers could be inserted in the door and hand-bolted when needed. All of these decisions were made to reduce weight. The battery is located in the sealed compartment over the rear wheels to increase rear-end weight and traction. The car shipped with a tonneau cover and videotape on soft-top assembly. In 1994 AC was added as an option. Performance, 0-60 mph, 4.5 sec, 0-100 mph, 9.2 a sec, quarter mile, 12.9 a sec at 113.8 mph, top speed, 180 mph. Reference, http www.vipercentral.com, 700 ft slalom, over 66 mph, skid pad average G, 0.96. Second generation, Phase 2 Senior A Coupe model called the GTS was introduced in 1996. Dubbed Double Bubble, the roof featured slightly raised sections above each seat to accommodate usage of helmets, a throwback to its intended purpose. Vipers can be seen participating often in drag racing and road racing. The GTS, like its predecessor, was chosen as the pace car for the 1996 Indianapolis 500. Despite its similar outward appearance, the car was distinct enough to be considered a new generation model. Extensive modifications included a reworked engine with higher power and less weight, an almost completely redesigned chassis that was made 60 lb lighter and 25% stiffer in torsional rigidity through meticulous computer analysis, a thoroughly redesigned suspension, and reduced braking distances. The 1996 to 2002 Viper GTS had a lighter, 450 bhp engine, which could complete the quarter mile in 12.3 seconds, 0.3 seconds and 6 mph faster than its predecessor, and increased top speed by 11 mph or so. The revised suspension, stiffer chassis, and aerodynamic body raised lateral grip to 0.98 g, although other reports show the 1992 model with 1.0 g. Contemporary tires have improved upon this measure significantly. Slalom runs could often reach or exceed 70 mph. Brakes once again lacked ABS initially, and proved to be the car's weakest point. The brakes hurt the car in numerous comparison tests, such as a 1997 supercar comparison by Motor Trend, in which the Viper GTS placed at the top against cars such as the Ferrari 355, Chevrolet Corvette, Porsche 911 Turbo, Acura NSXT, Mitsubishi 3000 GT, and the Toyota Supra in all performance exercises except braking. The car not only placed last, but had considerably longer stopping distances than other vehicles. ABS was introduced further into the production run, though braking performance was not necessarily significantly improved. In a sports car international comparison conducted in 2002, the Viper ACR was compared to the 911 GT2 at Thunderdale Raceway Park. Both cars were very capable, and quick around the test track, but the Viper proved more difficult to drive, and the braking system was blamed very specifically for the gap in lap times between the two cars. Along with the updated performance came the inclusion of some of the luxuries the car did without before. Dual front airbags were added to the vehicle's safety equipment list in 1996 on the GTS and 1997 in the RT/10 as mandated by the government. The car was also exported to Europe, where it was rebadged as a Chrysler, and sold under this mark from 1997 to 2003. European models had a detuned version of the Viper V10. In the first 6 years of production almost 10,000 Vipers were sold. Minor evolutionary changes including new 18 inches diameter wheels and tires were introduced in the 1999 model. Subsequent versions featured lightweight hypertectic pistons and an improved exhaust system, side exhaust having been dropped partway through production year 1996 for the RT/10. All production GTS Viper coupes had rear exit exhaust. 1999 saw the introduction of the Cognac Connolly leather interior package. Continuing the refinements, ABS was introduced in 2001. In 2002, The end of second-generation production was celebrated with the release of 360 commemorative final edition models. These models were painted red with white stripes, paying tribute to the famous race-winning Rekka cars. The RT-10 was replaced by the SRT-10 in 2003 and the GTS was replaced in 2006 by the SRT-10 Coupe. Performance: Dodge Viper second generation, Phase 2 SR, 0-60 mph, 4.0 a sec, 0-100 mph, 8.6 a sec, quarter mile, 12.2 a sec at 119 mph, top speed, 185 mph, slalom, 73.6 mph, skid pad average acceleration, 1.01 g, motorsport. Greg Crick won the 2006 Australian GT Championship driving a Dodge Viper GTS ACR. Third generation ZB. The Dodge Viper underwent a major redesign in 2002, courtesy of Daimler Chrysler's Street and Racing Technology Group. The new Viper SRT-10, which replaced both the GTS and the RT-10 was heavily restyled with sharp, angled bodywork. The engine's displacement was increased to 8.3 L, which, with other upgrades, increased output to 500 bhp and 525 lb-aft. Despite the power increases, engine weight was reduced to about 500 lb. The chassis was also improved, becoming more rigid and weighing approximately 80 lb less than the previous model. An even lighter and stronger chassis was planned, but was abandoned because of cost. The initial model was a convertible. In 2004 Dodge introduced a limited edition Mamba package. Mamba edition cars featured black interiors, with red stitching and trim, and price increased by about MSRP $3,000. 200 Mambas were produced. The Viper SRT-10 Coupe was introduced at the 2005 Detroit Auto Show as a 2006 model. It shares many of its body panels with the convertible, but takes its side and rear styling from the competition Coupe. The Coupe looks much like the previous Viper GTS and retains the double bubble roof shape of the original along with the original GTS's tail lights, as well as offering the original GTS blue with white stripes paint scheme on the initial run of first edition cars like the original Viper Coupe. The engine is SAE certified to produce 510 bhp and 535 lb-aft. Unlike the original Coupe, the chassis was not modified. This makes the Coupe heavier than the convertible, and thus slightly slower to accelerate. Handling and high-speed performance are improved by the Coupe's stiffer frame, reduced drag, and increased downforce. No 2007 model Vipers were produced. Instead, Chrysler extended production of the 2006 model while preparing the updated 2008 model. Performance: Dodge Viper 3rd generation, 0-60 mph, 3.8 a sec, 0-100 mph, 8.36 a sec, quarter mile, 11.77 a sec at 123.68 mph, top speed, 189.5 mph, slalom, 70.4 mph, skid pad average acceleration, 1.05 ag, 100 €0, 274 a Ford Dodge Viper 3rd generation, 0-60 mph, 3.7 a sec, 0-100 mph, 8.36 a sec, quarter mile, 11.77 a sec at 123.68 mph, top speed, 192.6 mph, slalom, 70.4 mph, skid pad average acceleration, 1.05 ag, 100 €0, 274 ft. 4th generation, Phase 2 ZB. In 2008, with the introduction of the 8.4L V10, the Viper produced 600 bhp at 6,000 rpms and 560 lb-aft at 5,100 rpms, and also received better flowing heads with larger valves, Mechadyne cam and cam variable valve timing on the exhaust cam lobes, and dual electronic throttle bodies. The rev limit could be increased by 300 rpm due to the improved valve train stability from both the new camshaft profiles and valve springs. The engine was developed with some external assistance from McLaren Automotive and Ricardo Consulting engineers. Electronic engine control is developed by Continental AG. The controller can monitor the crankshaft and cylinder position up to 6 times during each firing and has 10 times more processing power than the previous unit. Changes outside of the engine were less extreme. The Tremec T56 transmission was replaced with the new Tremec Trail 6060 with triple first-gear synchronizers and doubles for higher gears. The Dana M44-4 rear axle from the 2003 Euro 2006 model now has a GKN Viscolic speed sensing limited slip differential that greatly helps the tires in getting grip under acceleration. Another performance upgrade was the removal of run-flat tires. The new Michelin Pilot Sport 2 tires increased grip and driver feedback and, along with revised suspension, made the Viper more neutral in cornering. The modifications made to the 2008 model year car were enough for Chrysler to make it distinct from the first SRT-10, and the 2008 model became known as Gen 4, just in time for release with Chevrolet's 638 HP Corvette Z01. Another notable change is the reworking of the exhaust system. Previous third-generation Vipers had their exhaust crossover under the seats, which resulted in a large amount of heat going into the cockpit, which was done initially to help improve the car's exhaust note, since the first 2 generations of Viper, which had no crossover, were criticized for their lackluster exhaust notes. The 2008 Viper exhaust utilized a new exhaust system with no crossover, reducing the heat that enters the cockpit. The electrical system was completely revised for 2008. Changes included a 180-amp alternator, twin electric cooling fans, electronic throttles, and completely new Venom engine management system. CAN bus architecture has been combined with pre-existing systems to allow for regulatory compliance. The fuel system was upgraded to include a higher capacity fuel pump and filtration system. Car and Driver magazine tested the car, and found a 0-60 mph time of 3.6 seconds, a 0-100 mph time of 7.6 seconds, and a quarter-mile time of 11.5 seconds at 126 mph. Dodge's claims for top speed are 197 mph and 202 mph, for the Roadster and Coupe respectively. Car and Driver also tested the Viper's track performance, and managed a fast sub-3-minute lap time around Virginia International Raceway. The Viper's time, despite hot weather, was faster than the Corvette Z06, Ford GT, Nissan GT-R, Porsche 911 Turbo, 911 GT3, and 911 GT2, Audi R8, and similar cars. According to Car and Driver and Motor Trend, the car's slightly adjusted suspension setup and new differential gave it cornering ability as sharp as before with better control, feedback, and response. On November 4, 2009, Dodge Car brand president and CEO Ralph Gillis had announced that the Viper would end production in the summer of 2010. On February 10, 2010, Dodge began accepting orders for the Viper SRT-10 Final Edition models. Only 50 of these units would be produced. Final edition cars carried the special build code, AXZ, and were to be the very last of the Viper cars. Final edition Vipers were available in SRT-10 coupe and convertible configurations. July 1, 2010 brought about the then end of production for the Generation 4 Dodge Viper. During an event hosted by Dodge and the Viper Club of America, the final production Gen 4 Viper, which was given a gold finish and accentuated by contrasting orange stripes, rolled off the assembly line and was presented before attendees of the ceremony. Its completion commemorated the end of the production run of the Gen 4 Viper. The Dodge Viper ACR and ACRX have retained a Nürburgring Nordlift of 712 and 703, beating cars worth tenfolds the price. Performance. Dodge Viper 4th generation, Phase 2. 0 Euro 60 mph, 3.6 a sec, 0 Euro 100 mph, 7.6 a sec, quickest quarter mile, 10.92 a sec at 129.79 mph, top speed, 202 mph, slalom, 74.2 mph plus, skid pad average acceleration, 1.06 ag, 100 0 mph, 270 ft. 5th generation/VX, history, at a dealer conference on September 14, 2010 in Orlando, Florida, Chrysler Group and Fiat CEO Sergio Marchionne was reported to have concluded his remarks by unveiling a rolling 2012 Dodge Viper prototype. There would be no 2011 Viper. Quotes from the Detroit News from SRT CEO Ralph Gillis that hint at the future of the brand include, the new Viper is not based on anything else. The Viper cabin is very rearward and the hood is very long. Few cars in the industry are designed with those proportions anymore. I want the new Viper to be a more forgiving car to drive and accessible to more people. We've never had stability control on a high-performance car, which is about to happen on the new car. The Viper was also on display for one night only in Salt Lake City, Utah at the 11th Viper Owners Invitational or VOI 11 from September 30, 2010, September 30, 2010, to October 3, 2010, October 3, 2010. Ralph Gillis was present gathering feedback from the owners themselves on new exterior design of the Snake. The Generation 5 badge was unveiled as well at this event on each dining table in the hall. In autumn of 2011, Ralph Gillis announced that the General V Viper would debut at the New York Auto Show in April 2012. Public unveiling, preliminary specifications include following: all-aluminum 8.4-liter V10 rated 640 horsepower and at 600 lb-ft, Tremec Trail 6066 speed manual transmission with final drive ratio 3.55, 50% improvement in torsional stiffness over previous model, electronic stability control, traction control, 4-channel anti-lock brake system, carbon fiber and aluminum skin with .364 drag coefficient, Pirelli P0Z rated tires, 4-piston Brembo brakes with fixed aluminum calipers with vented 355x32 in diameter rotors. 20 ohm lower seating position, 7-inch full-color customizable instrument cluster, R-Connect RA3 or RA4 access in-vehicle connectivity system with optional Sirius XM travel link, Harman Kardon audio system, B-xenon projector headlamps with white light-emitting diode daytime running lamps and LED turn signals, LED taillamps with integrating stop and turn illumination and snakeskin texture lens, 5-spoke forged aluminum rattler wheel with fully polished, fully painted hyper black or fully painted low gloss black finishes. Top speed of the SRT Viper is 205 mph and it has 0-60 mph time of about 3.3 seconds. It will be the first to feature Viper's third logo, nicknamed Striker. The SRT Viper GTS includes leather upholstery, accented colors in seats, doors, center console and stitching. Gunmetal trim on a cluster bezel, HVAC outlets, window switch bezels, shifter base, park brake bezel and the integrated passenger grab handle on the center console. Sebelt racing seats with Kevlar and fiberglass shell, carbon fiber hood, roof, deck lid and aluminum door panels, split 6-spoke forged aluminum venom wheels with polished face and graphite painted pockets, fully painted hyper black or fully painted low gloss black finishes. Optional SRT track package includes Pirelli P0 Corsa tires, StopTech slotted 2-piece rotors and ultra-lightweight wheels in hyper black or matte black finishes. The 2013 SRT Viper was unveiled at the 2012 New York Auto Show. Prefix Viper Medusa Roadster. On July 19, 2014, Prefix Corporation unveiled a Viper Medusa Roadster at a private event at their Prefix Coatings facility in Auburn Hills, Michigan. Created under their latest division named Prefix Performance, the Medusa is a conversion of an existing General V Viper. The initial run is limited to 10 custom-numbered vehicles at a price of $35,000 on top of the price of the vehicle. Vehicles are to be purchased through Tomball Dodge and ViperExchange.com located in Tomball, Texas. Prefix is gauging market interest to determine if it will set up a production line to produce the vehicle in higher volumes. SRT Viper GTSR. The SRT Viper GTSR is in Lumen GTE class race car designed and built by SRT Motorsports and Riley Technologies. It includes Michelin GT tires. The vehicle was unveiled at the 2012 New York Auto Show, and it made its racing debut at the 2013 12 Hours of Sebring, where two GT SRS finished 6th and 10th in the GT class. The SRT Viper racing team entering 2012 ALMS included Dominique Farnbacher, Mark Goossens, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Tommy Kendall, Jonathan Beaumarito, and Kuno Whitmer. The two GT SRS of SRT Motorsports finished third in the GT Class Championship. The car made its debut at the Le Mans 24 Hours in 2013, where it finished 8th in class and 24th overall. In 2014, with the ALMS folding and merging with the Rolex Sports Car Series, SRT soon entered the Tudor United Sports Car Championship GTLM class. In the opening round, the 2014 24 Hours of Daytona, SRT took 3rd and 6th in class. Both cars were repainted at Watkins Glen in the red and white livery used in the late 1990s to early 2000s. The number 93 Viper won class at Indianapolis Motor Speedway Brickyard Grand Prix in July 2014, after both cars took podium positions in the previous races at the Glen and Mosport. In March 2014, Chrysler announced that it was withdrawing the Vipers from the 2014 24 Hours of Le Mans. 2012 SEMA Concept. The SEMA concept car is a version of 2013 SRT Viper Coupe demonstrating Mopar products for SRT Viper. Changes include yellow body color, carbon fiber parts at underhood, exposed carbon fiber performance cross-X brace trimmed in a satin finish, a decal-cut Viper striker logo in the center of X brace, engine cover in carbon fiber and aluminum with the SRT logo, prototype aluminum oil filler cap with the SRT logo, a carbon fiber aero package, Mopar coil springs, full black interior with yellow accents, Sabelt hard-shell seats with a 6-point safety harness, seat edging in black catskin leather with yellow accents in the perforations, Mopar billet aluminum shift knob, billet aluminum HVAC bezels and controls, carbon fiber bulkhead satchel with a universal integrated quick-release camera mount, polished chrome door sill guards with the Viper logo, race-inspired sandblasted aluminum Mopar bright pedal kit with the Viper logo etched in the pedals, footrest pedal with striker logo, optional track pack wheels finished in hyper black, a front tow hook and an LED fog lamp kit. The vehicle was unveiled in 2012 SEMA show. The Mopar performance parts found in the SEMA concept car were sold as 2013 SRT Viper components. SRT Viper GT3R. The Viper GT3R was made available for race teams in the later half of 2013 at an estimated cost of $459,000. The car shares many technologies with the GTE race car, but it is built to Group GT3 regulations. The GT3 car was jointly developed by SRT Motorsports and Riley Technologies, and the car features the same 8.3L V10 from the road car and is capable of producing 680 HP unrestricted. However, actual output will be nearer 600 HP due to balance of performance employed in GT3 championships. The car weighs in at 1295 kg, which is inside the 1300 kg limit for GT3 cars, and has a 100-litre fuel tank. The first win for the GT3R Spec Viper came on July 13, 2014 in the Tudor United Sports Car Championship at Mosport, followed by a win in the Pirelli World Challenge at the Streets of Toronto in the second race on 20 July 2014. 2014 SRT Viper TA. The Time Attack is a $16,000 limited edition option package for the SRT Viper. It is not available on the Viper GTS, although the last 10 anodized carbon edition GTS models will be equipped with the TA package. Of the remaining TAs, there are 93 cars painted in TA orange, 33 in Venom black, and 33 in Viper white, each one numbered on the logo on the passenger side of the dashboard. The package consists of the advanced aerodynamic package, lightweight sidewinder 2 wheels finished in matte black, Pirelli P0 Corsa tires, 2-mode Bilstein Damptronic suspension adapted from the GTS, but with firmer levels of damping and a smaller spread between modes, shock dampers, increased spring rates and thicker anti-roll bars, carbon fiber underhood X brace, carbon fiber rear taillight applique from the exterior carbon fiber accent package, 2-piece stock tech brake rotors, black anodized Brembo brake calipers painted with the Viper logo in TA orange, TA logos behind both front wheels and a striker decal instead of the standard badge on the hood, black interior with TA orange accent stitching on the ballistic cloth seats, instrument panel and cowl, center stack, console, handbrake, shifter boot, and door panels. The aerodynamic package adds 200 pounds of downforce at 100 mph. Top speed is 193 mph instead of the non-aerodynamics package car's 206 mph. In March 18, 2013, Motor Trend tested the SRT Viper TA in Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, setting the production car lap record in 1:33.62. Besting the previous lap time holder Chevrolet Corvette ZR1's 1:33.70. The vehicle was unveiled in 2013 New York International Auto Show. Production of SRT Viper was started in the Conner Avenue Assembly plant in Detroit, Michigan, with production beginning in late 2012. Production of SRT Viper TA set to begin at the Conner Avenue Assembly plant in Detroit, beginning in third quarter 2013. Marketing: as part of Chrysler's plan of turning street and racing technology as a separate vehicle brand within Chrysler Group LLC, the SRT Viper became the brand's halo vehicle. In May 2014, the SRT brand was reconsolidated under Dodge, with former SRT CEO Ralph Gillis continuing as Senior Vice President of Product Design and also as the CEO and President of Motorsports. Europe: the second generation, Phase 2 Senior Vipers were exported to Europe, where they were sold as Chryslers. The third generation, Phase IZB Viper was being sold in Europe during 2005 and Euro 2006, the first model to be sold as a Dodge, as part of Chrysler's new sales strategy for the European market. In the United Kingdom it is referred to as a Viper, but it is actually sold as the Dodge SRT10, as the Viper name is a registered trademark in the UK. ProDrive currently handles the importation and modification of Vipers to meet European laws. Features: the all-new 2013 SRT Viper features a cruise control and controls on the steering wheel. You connect Bluetooth phone with Bluetooth audio streaming as standard, as is an 8.4-inch touchscreen display like that on the Chrysler 300, Dodge Charger, and Dodge Journey. It also features an Alpine surround sound system and many exterior, interior, and wheel combinations. There is also a 4-inch reconfigurable thin-film transistor display in the gauge cluster to display important vehicle information, system messages, and has controls to turn the traction control, stability control, and other features off. It also has a track mode with a built-in track timer, stoplight countdown timer display, and other features. Power seats, keyless entry, and heated seats are also new options. A navigation system by Garmin is also an available option, as is Sirius XM satellite radio and HD radio. A built-in HDD for storing music and photos JPEG and MP3 will also be included as standard equipment. Variants: Viper GTS, a concept. 10 years after the first Viper concept was revealed, the 2000 GTS, a concept, was shown. Osamu Shikado was responsible for the vehicle's exterior, which is 3 inches lower and 2 inches wider than the production Viper at the time. Shikado used race-inspired lines with an aggressive stance. Some of these design cues were adapted to the 2003 production Viper. These included a higher belt line, a side gill, bump-up rear fender shape, and a more defined side crease. Viewed from above, the front-to-rear stripe now is tapered. Unlike most concepts, the 2000 Viper concept was made as a complete car. It features a complete functional interior with air conditioning, adjustable pedals, and a premium sound system. Only one 2000 GTS, a concept, was made featuring a dry sump engine producing 500 horsepower, 50 more than current production, and 500 lb-ft of torque. The body is a single molding of carbon fiber, but with some subtle changes compared with the existing cars. 1.5 inches has been taken out between the sill and the roof, which together with a chassis sitting 2 inches lower, gives the car a lower profile. 3 inches have been added to the wheelbase and 2 inches to the track. The doors have also been lengthened, which combined with a longer wheelbase makes entry and exit from the car that easier. Brakes are 14-inch ventilated discs with 4-piston calipers, and the front has the 19-inch wheels with P285/30ZR Goodyear tires up and 20-inch rear wheels with P335/30ZR tires. Viper GT2, in order to meet FIA homologation requirements, as well as to celebrate Chrysler winning the 1997 FIA GT2 Class Championship, 100 modified Viper GT2 Championship Edition street-legal cars were sold. These upgraded GTS cars were rated at 460 HP and 500 lb-ft of torque. They had bodywork with similar appearance to the GTS-R, with the same color scheme, aerodynamics package, and visual options, in order to publicize the Viper's achievement in the FIA GT Championship. Viper ACR. The American Club Racing model was introduced in 1999. This model had suspension and engine enhancements focused on maximizing performance in road racing and autocross environments. Horsepower was, by the use of K&N air filters and smooth intake tubes, bumped to 460 HP in these models, while torque increased to 500 lb-ft. Weight was reduced by over 50 pounds by stripping the interior and removing other non-essential items such as the fog lamps. The new stiffer, adjustable suspension removed another 14 pounds. These models, which also have engine and handling modifications, has an ACR badge and 20-spoke BBS wheels. A new ACR was added to the Viper lineup after the 2008 model year. Its upgrades were more drastic than the original, including street-legal racing tires, 2-piece brake rotors, adjustable suspension, and significant aerodynamic revision. No engine modifications were made, so power and torque remain at 600 HP and 560 lb-ft as in the standard SRT-10. The ACR is street-legal, and is similar to the MOPAR Viper that Dodge displayed at various auto shows. Weight was also decreased by 40 lb by using the hardcore package, without AC, radio, speakers, amplifier, trunk carpet, hood pad or tire inflator. Its aerodynamic upgrades produce up to 1,000 pounds of downforce at 150 mph, or roughly 10 times the downforce the standard Viper SRT-10 can produce at the same speed. The interior was upgraded only by the addition of a beacon trip lap timer. The Viper ACR was built alongside the standard SRT-10 at the Conner Avenue plant in Detroit. The aerodynamic components were produced by Plisson Carbon Composites and assembled to the vehicle by Prefix Corporation located in Rochester Hills, Michigan. On September 14, 2011, on the NA1 Quarter-Ruberger Nordliff, a 2010 Dodge Viper SRT-10 ACR completed the 6th fastest production street-legal car lap ever recorded with a 7:12.13 elapsed time. Chrysler's press release claimed a new production car lap record, although 3 faster laps had been recorded more than 2 years earlier, albeit by very specialized low-production vehicles. Viper ACRX, to commemorate the end of the second-generation Viper and mend the gap from the car's production end until the release of the new car, Dodge offered an improved version of the ACR specifically designed to run in the Dodge Viper Cup Series. This car, named Viper ACRX, added to the basic ACR 40 HP, a new set of downforce-enhancing front canards, and new materials that, along with a stripped interior, reduced weight to 3,300 lb. It is a purpose-built race car, and is not street-legal. According to Dodge, the car beat the regular record-holding ACR around Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca by about 3 seconds. Price increased by $12,000 to $110,000. Production was planned for the spring of 2010. As of February 17, the Viper ACRX's NA1 Quarter-Ruberger lap record is 7:03.058, a full 9.072 seconds faster than the regular ACR. Mopar Concept Coupe. A prototype 2008 Mopar Viper Coupe, with 675 HP, appeared at the 2007 North American International Auto Show, but is not planned for production. This concept appears to have been a sneak peek at the Viper ACR. Performance parts from this car are sold by Mopar. SRT-10 Carbon. For the 2003 SEMA show, Chrysler displayed a highly tuned Viper SRT-10 in coupe form. The vehicle's name comes from the carbon fiber used to reduce the weight by 150 lbs. However, even more significant were the engine modifications, which increased power to 625 HP. No torque or RPM figures were given. Along with the carbon fiber hardtop, a front splitter and rear spoiler were added. However, those parts were not nearly as significant as those on the later SRT-10 ACR, and no downforce drag information was provided to show that they were even functional. The car was a concept only, and was never produced. This car was used as a test mule for the development for the Generation V SRT Viper. The car is no longer a show car, and most of his specialty parts were taken off during development for the new Generation V SRT Viper. Firepower. The Chrysler Firepower was a Grand Touring concept based on the Viper chassis that would have been equipped with a Hemi V8, with automatic transmission. Price would have been slightly lower than other models. Copperhead. The Dodge Copperhead was a concept car based on the Viper platform that was intended as a cheaper, more agile car. It was powered by a 220 HP 2.7L V6 engine instead of the Viper's V10. It never reached production. Dodge produced a limited production Copperhead edition Dodge Viper, with copper-colored paint similar to the concept car and other changes. Zagato Alfa Romeo TZ3 Stradale. Designed by Zagato, the Alfa Romeo TZ3 Stradale is the fourth model in Zagato's TZ line and serves as Zagato's tribute to the 100th anniversary of Alfa Romeo. The car itself is based on the Viper ACRX but with a new carbon fiber body. As planned, only 9 vehicles will be built. Not only is the chassis and powertrain from the Gen 4 Viper, but the interior remains mostly the same as well. Recognition. John Lingenfelter Memorial Trophy, 2008 Most Expensive Car for Repair Costs, Bankrate.com. The 25,000th Viper is owned by Kurt Busch and the milestone was commemorated by Bob Nardelli, Chrysler LLC chairman, in a ceremony at the Connor plant in March 2008. References, Notes. Bibliography.